The night was quiet, save for the hum of the crickets and the soft sigh of the wind weaving through the grass. Amani lay on her mat outside the hut, her eyes fixed on the endless expanse above. "Why do the stars shine so brightly, grandmother?" she asked, her voice a gentle murmur. Grandmother Zai, sitting nearby with her walking stick, chuckled softly. "They shine because they are our ancestors watching over us. Each star carries a story, and each story guides our way." Amani frowned. "But some stars are missing. Look, over there." She pointed to a patch of the sky where the darkness seemed to swallow the light. Grandmother Zai's face grew serious, but she quickly masked her worry with a smile. "Perhaps they are resting, child. Even stars need a break." That night, as Amani drifted to sleep, she dreamed of a river glowing with light and a paintbrush that shimmered like the moon. She didn't know it yet, but her life was about to change. The next evening, Amani noticed Grandmother Zai sleeping away from the hut under the cover of darkness. Curiosity bubbled in her chest as she quietly followed, careful not to let her footsteps betray her. The old woman moved swiftly despite her age, her walking stick tapping softly against the earth. She passed the village boundary and into the open plains, where the stars seemed to hang lower, as if they were listening. Amani crouched behind a bush as her grandmother stopped near a large, flat stone. Grandmother Zai knelt and began to hum, a soft, melodic tune that made the air shimmer. The moonlight danced on her weathered hands as she drew a brush from her satchel. The brush was unlike anything Amani had seen. Its bristles sparkled like fireflies, and its handle looked as though it had been carved from pure light. Grandmother Zai dipped the brush into a small clay pot she carried, which glowed faintly. Then, she raised it to the sky and painted strokes into the air. Amani gasped silently as the strokes turned into stars, filling the blank spaces in the heavens. The constellations seemed to come alive, their shapes clearer and brighter than ever. When the pot emptied, Grandmother Zai sighed deeply and sat back. She whispered, "Stay strong, my stars. You guide us all." Amani couldn't contain her wonder anymore. She stepped out of the shadows. "Grandmother, what are you doing?" Zai froze, then turned to her granddaughter with a mix of surprise and pride. "So, you've discovered my secret," she said softly. "Come closer, child." Amani hesitated but obeyed. As she approached, she saw the pot's contents, a silvery liquid that seemed to ripple with its own light. "This," Grandmother Zai explained, "is the river of light. It's what I use to paint the stars and keep our village safe. Without it, the stars would fade, and their stories would be lost." "Why do you have to do it?" Amani asked. "Why doesn't someone else help?" "It is a gift passed down through our family," Zai said, touching Amani's cheek gently. "And one day, it will be your gift, too. But the task is not without challenges. The light is growing weaker, and some stars are harder to reach." Amani's heart raced. She wanted to help, but fear nipped at the edges of her excitement. "What happens if the stars go out?" "Then darkness will spread, and we will lose our way," Zai said gravely. "But do not worry, Amani. For now, let us focus on keeping the stars alive." That night, Amani returned to the hut with a new secret in her heart. She didn't know how, but she felt a deep calling to help her grandmother. Days turned into weeks, and Amani began to notice more patches of darkness in the sky. Grandmother Zai grew weaker, her nightly star painting taking a toll on her health. One evening, as Zai rested, Amani decided to act. She retrieved the glowing clay pot and the magical brush from her grandmother's satchel. "I'll paint the stars tonight," she whispered to herself. Under the wide-open sky, Amani tried to mimic her grandmother's movements. But the brush felt heavy in her hand, and the light from the pot seemed to flicker uncertainly. As she raised the brush, a cold wind swept through the plains, carrying with it a low, mischievous laugh. "Who dares to paint my stars?" Amani spun around, her heart pounding. In the shadows, a figure emerged, a wiry, translucent spirit with glowing eyes and a sly grin. "I am the star thief," the figure declared, circling her slowly. "And these stars are mine now." "No," Amani shouted, clutching the pot tightly. "The stars belong to everyone. They guide us and protect us." The star thief sneered. "Do they? Or do they serve only your village, leaving the rest of the world in darkness?" Amani faltered. She hadn't thought about the stars beyond her village. But before she could answer, the thief snatched at the brush, sending her tumbling to the ground. "Such fragile lights," the star thief murmured, examining the pot of glowing liquid. "They will fade like all things." "No," Amani said, standing shakily. "I won't let you take them." The star thief paused, tilting its head. "Brave words, little one. But bravery is not enough." With that, it disappeared into the night, taking some of the pot's light with it. Amani fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. How could she protect the stars when even the light was slipping away? But as she looked up at the sky, the remaining stars seemed to twinkle brighter, as if encouraging her. "I won't give up," she whispered. "I'll find a way to save you." The next morning, Amani told Grandmother Zai what had happened. Though Zai was alarmed, she nodded gravely. "The star thief is a spirit of envy," Zai explained, her voice weak but steady. "Long ago, it lived in harmony with the stars, tending to their glow. But when people began to forget its name, it turned bitter and started stealing their light. It feeds on the stars' brilliance to grow stronger." "What can I do?" Amani asked, determination in her eyes. "You must journey to the river of light," Zai said, handing Amani the nearly empty pot. "There, you can refill this and restore the stars. But beware, the star thief will try to stop you. You must be brave and wise." Amani hugged her grandmother tightly. "I won't let you down." As she left the village, the elders blessed her journey, placing a string of protective beads around her neck. The first challenge on Amani's journey was crossing the vast desert of silence, where no sound could travel. The golden dunes stretched endlessly, and the only way to navigate was by following the stars above. But as Amani walked, the sky began to dim, and clouds obscured her view. Fear crept in, whispering doubts into her mind. She remembered Grandmother Zai's words, "When you feel lost, listen to your heart. It will guide you." Closing her eyes, Amani focused on the steady rhythm of her heartbeat. Slowly, the faint glow appeared ahead. She followed it, her steps growing more confident. The glow led her to the edge of the desert, where an ancient baobab tree stood, its roots sprawling like a welcoming embrace. Under the baobab tree, Amani met Kobe, the tree spirit. His bark face was wrinkled with age, and his eyes sparkled with wisdom. "You seek the river of light," Kobe said, his voice deep and resonant. "But first, you must prove yourself worthy." "What must I do?" Amani asked. Kobe smiled. "Answer my riddles, and I shall show you the way." The spirit posed 3 riddles, each tied to the stars. 1. What rises but never falls? 2. What shines but is never touched? 3. What can guide yet remains unseen? Amani thought carefully, recalling her grandmother's lessons. She answered. 1. The sun. 2. The stars. 3. The heart. Kobe laughed, his leaves rustling with approval. "You are wise beyond your years, little one. Go forth, and may the stars watch over you." As a gift, Kobe gave her a vial of sap that glowed faintly. "This will light your path when all else fails." The next leg of Amani's journey brought her to the Cave of Reflections, where travelers were said to confront their deepest fears. Inside, the air was cold, and the walls glistened like mirrors. As Amani ventured deeper, she began to see visions of herself, tired, afraid, and failing to save the stars. The images whispered cruel words, "You're too small. You'll never succeed. The stars will fade, and it will be your fault." Amani's hands trembled, but she clutched the protective beads around her neck. "You are not real," she said firmly. "I may be small, but my courage is big enough to light the stars." With those words, the visions shattered, and the cave filled with a warm glow. Amani emerged stronger, her determination unshaken. Finally, Amani reached the river of light. It sparkled like liquid stars, flowing endlessly under the night sky. She dipped the pot into the river, watching as it filled with a brilliant, silvery glow. But before she could leave, the star thief appeared, blocking her path. Its form was larger now, its translucent body shimmering with stolen light. "Give me the light," it demanded. "I need it to survive." Amani stood her ground. "The stars need it more. Without them, the world will lose its way." The star thief hissed. "They forgot me. Why should I let them shine?" Amani's heart softened. She realized the thief's anger came from loneliness. "You don't need to steal to be remembered," she said gently. "You can help protect the stars instead. Your story can shine alongside theirs." The star thief hesitated, its form flickering. "Protect the stars?" "Yes," Amani said. "Together, we can keep their light alive." Moved by her words, the thief released the stolen light, which soared back into the sky. It shrank into a small, shimmering figure and nodded. "I will guard the stars, but you must promise to keep telling their stories." "I promise," Amani said, smiling. When Amani returned to the village, the stars were brighter than ever. She painted a new constellation in the sky, depicting her journey and the reformed star thief. The villagers marveled at the sight, and Grandmother Zuri embraced her granddaughter proudly. "You have done more than save the stars, Amani. You've shown us the power of kindness and courage." The night Amani returned to the village, the people gathered under the brightest sky they had seen in years. Children pointed to the heavens, marveling at the new constellation Amani had painted. It depicted a girl holding a pot of light, with a shimmering figure of the star thief by her side. The elders declared the day a time of celebration, naming it the Festival of Light. "We must honor not only the stars but also the lessons they teach us," said Elder Jabari. Amani felt a warmth in her chest as she watched her people sing and dance beneath the stars. But she also knew her role as a star painter was just beginning. Weeks turned into months, and Amani devoted herself to learning the art of star painting from Grandmother Zuri. The old woman's health improved slowly, but she entrusted Amani with teaching the younger children about the stars and their stories. Amani gathered the children under the great baobab tree, telling them about her journey. "The stars are not just lights in the sky," she explained. "They are stories of hope, courage, and unity. And now, they include us." She showed the children how to craft small clay pots similar to the one she used to paint the stars, and taught them songs to honor the ancestors. Among the children was a boy named Mosi, who had always been afraid of the dark. Inspired by Amani's bravery, he started staying out under the stars and asking questions. "Can I paint the stars one day?" he asked. "Maybe," Amani said with a smile. "But first, you must learn to listen to their stories." The star thief, now reformed, became the guardian of the stars, ensuring no harm came to their light. Though invisible to most, Amani could feel its presence whenever she painted. One night, as she walked, the star thief appeared beside her. "Thank you," it said softly, "for giving me a purpose." Amani dipped her brush into the pot and painted a small, twinkling star in the thief's honor. "Everyone deserves a chance to shine," she replied. The star thief smiled, its translucent form glowing faintly, before vanishing into the night. News of the bright stars and Amani's new constellation spread to neighboring villages. Travelers came to see the sky, bringing gifts and sharing their own tales. A group of elders from a distant land visited Amani, asking her to teach them the ways of the star painter. She agreed but insisted on one condition. You must use this gift to help your people and honor the star's light. Never let the stories fade. The elders nodded, promising to carry her teachings far and wide. Years later, Amani had become a young woman, wise and confident in her role. Grandmother Zuri, now frail but content, called Amani to her side one last time. My child, Zuri said, you have done more than I ever dreamed. You've not only painted the stars but also brought people together. It is time for you to choose someone to carry on this gift. Amani thought of Mosi, now a teenager, who had shown great promise in understanding the stars. I think I know who, she said. She took Mosi under her wing, teaching him not just the art of painting but also the responsibility that came with it. The stars are more than light, she told him. They are a bridge between the past, the present, and the future. Protect them with all your heart. Decades later, a new generation gathered under the same sky, now filled with even more constellations. Amani's story had become a cherished legend, passed down from elders to children. The Festival of Light had grown into a yearly event, uniting villages across the land. People would share stories, sing songs, and gaze at the stars, remembering the courage of a girl who taught them the true meaning of light. Mosi, now an elder himself, looked up at the sky one evening and saw a star twinkle brighter than the rest. He smiled, knowing it was Amani watching over them.